think I always made the comment that once a miller, always a miller.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! Good heavens, he's done it again! Another promotion for the big man.
I've got 12 bottles of champagne in my office and we're going to drink them all night.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast. Thank you all for being with us. And we have a win, an actual win, 3 points on the board to talk about. Good news, isn't it? We can talk about that. Not pretty, not particularly exciting, but a win. That doesn't matter how it happens, does it? So we're going to talk about that. And then we go to the Seaside on Saturday. I'll have a quick chat later on about Blackpool. Mick, happy?
Yeah. For clarity, just let me make it abundantly clear now. I am very, very, very happy that we won. Happy. Just
Nobody
saying.
believes you. Nobody believes you. Danny's back. How you doing, Danny?
I'm good. I'm very, very happy. We've actually improved our league position ever so slightly, due to the results, but we're moving up the table. Happy, happy days.
Oh, brilliant. Tom, how's it going? Does Tom know he's on mute?
No.
It's not going off. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm very good. I'm very good.
Excellent. Cool. And Kev's back. How you doing, Kev?
Yeah, good, mate. I'm looking forward to a day at the seaside. Well, a weekend at the seaside. Watch some donkeys run about, and then I'm going to go to the beach.
Exactly. We have loads with us tonight. YouTube viewers, Sarah Ogden. Harry says, "Evening all. I know we're set up and ready, but we should just start 8:15 just for no reason whatsoever." Richard's with us. Paula Rhodes having a mince pie to celebrate. Steve Gundy's with us as well. Loads with us, but we are going to start not on Tuesday night. I'm sure that'll upset people, but it is good news, Kev. You've got something to announce to everybody coming in the new year.
Yeah, I've only actually finalised it today, so it's a bit brief, but it's part of Richard Wood's testimonial year. So, not many people understand, but he does get a full year for testimonial. Not only do we do the game, we're also planning a few other events, and the next event has just been booked today. It's at the Magna on Sunday, the 23rd of March. It's going to be called Woody's Sunday Sesh. It is actually going to be an afternoon/evening job. We'll try one. He wants fans to turn up and have a good drink and have a laugh. And he's basically getting the gang back together. So he's going to get as many Victors coming, Wiles is coming. He's getting a lot back. It's going to be a great event. We're going to have table seating with meal options, VIPs. There's going to be a legend on each table, so Victor will be on someone's table, which would be pretty unbelievable. Then there's going to be normal seating with a meal option. Then we're going to have tiered stands as well, seating. So we're hoping to sell quite a few tickets. Everyone's going to come. It's going to be like an almost a This Is Your Life. So needing with Richard Wood, guests, people on screen who can't make it, but just loads of players coming on stage and managers. Family, just talking about his career and that. So it's going to be a very good event.
Wonderful. So keep an eye on Kev's socials for tickets and everything else. So that'll be soon. And we have a little teaser for Sunday. Another announcement is coming Sunday. So just check this out. And that's all you're getting for now.
Yeah.
Tune in Sunday to find out more. Right. Football happened on Tuesday night. A big 3 points, as said in the comments by John Hinsler. Evening all, no such thing as a bad 3 points, but that was close. Fair enough. Mick, there's 3 goals and a few contentious decisions to talk about over the next hour or so. But let's just kind of sum it up as a win. Crucial win for a number of reasons. You know, we would have been in the relegation zone had we lost the game, which is frightening. So it's a crucial win for that point of view. Crucial to get the fans a bit of positivity, hopefully, and more importantly, the players a bit of confidence. But it was a really, really, no matter how it came, it was a really important win on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was. It was a really important game, wasn't it? For a lot of reasons, as you pointed out there, and an important game for manager as well. I think, in terms of how long he's going to be at the club. Because I think had we lost on Tuesday night, then it would have heaped more pressure on him, and I think he realised that as well from the way he sort of behaved on touchline. So yeah, it's massive. 3 points is always huge, and I know we as a podcast have taken some pelters on social media this week saying that we're all going to be celebrating and very happy that we are disappointed. Sorry, that we won, which is absolute nonsense. Is the word I'm not looking for. But yeah, we're all happy. We're all happy with the 3 points. So yeah, I don't know what else to say really. We'll talk about the performance, I'm sure, later. But it keeps us. It starts us hopefully heading back in the right direction. Hopefully,
yeah. And it can be, Danny, when you're trying to turn things around. That first win can be really horrible and really ugly, and that's what it was. It was pretty unpleasant. But I still think we deserved it. But again, we'll come on to that. But it doesn't matter how the wins come, especially when you're in a rut like we were. It's just get over the line, get the 3 points in the bag, and then you kind of move on. That is how I'm reading Tuesday anyway.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, the Cambridge win wasn't pretty, and I know we've gone back to it in the past and said, we only beat them because of 7 on Bay's backside, but it was still an important win because it broke the away day win duck. So it didn't matter how we won, we still got rid of it, but we were still in the rut. But I think this game shows that we can win unattractively, and we needed to win unattractively to get out of whatever rut we were in. And like the title of this episode's called as well, like I put out on Twitter, it could, if we play our cards right, springboard us to the next step. We've had crucial players come back. Like we say, we'll talk about performances in a minute, but, highlighting Sean Raggett, I thought he had an amazing game. And it's players like that we can sort of, again, springboard off and move on to the next level. But we needed that win. If that win hadn't happened, we would have got stuck in this rut 100%. But we've won. We can build on it. We're going to a Blackpool side that, like us, has been struggling, but has also got a positive result with the last one. So that is the next step. We need to look at this game and go, we can do it. Let's go and do it again. And I really, really hope that we can.
Yeah. Matt Miller says, is this the same springboard we jumped on after the Cambridge win? And what I would say, Kim, I felt like this win, although it was ugly and whatever else, it was a bit more understandable. I understood the game. I understood where the goals came from, whereas we were never going to score without Nombe's backside against Cambridge. So there was a lot more to pick from this from a positive aspect than there was, for example, on the Cambridge win and a couple other wins as well.
Yeah, I think so. Like Danny said, a couple of important players came back. Personally, I don't think Raggett even had a good game. I thought he looked shocking first half. Honestly, I didn't. But he's getting back into it. He's going to take. I think he's still 2 or 3 games away from being the Sean Raggett we know, as long as he stays injury free. But yeah, it was nice to see. I mean, it weren't pretty. It was a very good game by two poor teams. In all honesty, Lincoln. I was really surprised at Lincoln. I thought they were going to be better than that. But thankfully they were off on. We it did seem a bit more organised. At times, I still didn't think there weren't much gelling there, and we're still going back too much as well. That's starting to wind me up a bit now. I think at one point we had a throw in not far from 18-yard box, ended up going back to Raggett and going back to the goalkeeper, and just get it in box. It proves with Raggett's goal, put balls in the box and anything can happen. It can hit someone's backside, it can deflect off somebody, get the ball in.
Yeah. Kirkham says, no, we weren't great, but there seemed to be a little more passion on the pitch because we noticed Odoffin's reaction when Raggett scored. It was great to see. Harry puts a bit of praise on Teehee and Odoffin, who had been poor previously, had some criticism, but Hacks did play better. Were you saying something then, Tom? Sorry.
I wasn't, no.
No, sorry. So I thought Tom was saying something.
No, you not this time.
The big news, I suppose, big news was team news. That was a strong team. First time those front three have played together for the first time since Peterborough. How do you sum up the performance? We'll come on to the specifics in a minute. How do you sum it up? Is it same as kind of everybody else, or do you see it slightly differently?
Same but different. I think I'm a little bit more optimistic than everyone else seems to be, because although it was really poor, I thought defensively, and I know you said it then, Kev, that Lincoln weren't as good as you expected them to be, and neither. I thought they would be a lot better than they were, but again, was that because we were quite good defensively? I think off the ball we were one of the best performances I've seen us this season in terms of energy and kind of commitment to the cause and all that stuff. And I think it started from the back and Raggett and Jules being so solid. The fullbacks again did nothing amazing, but were consistently decent defending. They knew where they needed to be. I just think I thought Teehee was excellent in the middle. I thought he gave good legs and was really good on the ball as well. I just think I think it was a really poor performance going forward, and we scored 2 as well. So make of that what you will. But defensively, I think if we can nail down that defensive performance, I think you give yourself a chance in any game really in this league, because I was expecting Lincoln to be a lot better, and considering that if they would have won, they would have been in playoffs. I think they're not better. They weren't better than us. They were awful. We weren't great, but we were better than them. And for all our, we were bad going forward. We still managed to score 2 and put the shoe on the other foot. If we were second, for example, put in a performance like that, you go, well, if you can play crap, but as long as you win, it doesn't matter. We'd all be saying that. So I think we've got to take the little positives where we can. I think if we can maintain this sort of defensive structure with the personnel involved, then I think the attacking threat will come. If not, 2 goals at home against a good Lincoln side is good enough. As it shows.
Yeah, agreed. We'll talk about the goals first before some contentions that popped up. Mick, the first goal, Sam Nombe, first goal in 5, I think. And I think it's his fifth goal of the season. Is it poor defending? Is it a really good cross from James? Is it good work by Nombe to become free? A mixture?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture. I mean, the ball got recycled out to James, didn't it? And he put it back in first time. I think I said to you after the game, it was a bit of a hopeful put it in danger area rather than a targeted cross. But it was in the danger area. And Nombe's done really well let's go down on the positive side. He's done really well to get free. If you're a Lincoln supporter, you're saying the defending's got to be better. But look, he's managed to get himself free, and he's taken it really, really well. He's guided it down into the bottom corner. It was a difficult finish, really, under circumstances, because there's not a lot of power on the cross, because it was like a volleyed lob, weren't it, rather than with any power. Yeah. So he's not only has he got to find the space, he's got to get to the ball, and then he's got to direct it past the keeper, and he did that really, really well. So it's a good goal. It's a well taken goal. So what's not to like, You'll get your Sky Sports people arguing, it's another set piece goal. Well, is it really? Because it's backing up and play after a set piece. But whatever, who cares? Because they all count, don't they? So yeah, it's good work all round, really.
Yeah, and it's one of those things because we've been asking on the year since Paul Warne left, getting the ball in the box early is massive. Even if the ball's not a brilliant ball, if it's in a dangerous area and it's early, keeper, you could see keeper instantly were happy. He didn't know what to do, and their defenders weren't set. Getting that ball in there is so crucial, and that's something we've got to keep doing. Getting early, getting in a dangerous area, you'll get goals.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Like with the second goal as well. That's exactly what the fans want. Like I said just a minute ago, once the ball's in that box, anything can happen. It can get a deflection, a ricochet. It don't matter, just get it in. I thought it was a great cross, the way he controlled it and plonked in there. If I were a Lincoln fan, I'd be really pissed off that goalie didn't come out and just smash it with his fist and get rid of it, because it weren't that far off his line. He had plenty of time, like mixed it with a looping ball in, so he had plenty of time to make a decision. So poor defending, but I thought Nombe took it really well. It was like you just said, get a ball into the box and anything happen. We just want to see more of it. We've got good enough people with Powell as well and likes that who can whip that ball in. And that's what we need to be doing, and that's what everyone should be telling them at all costs. Get the ball in.
100%. And Nombe, Danny, we know Nombe is a bit of a streaky striker. It's when he's got his first goal against Cambridge off his backside, he then got I don't know, 3 or 4 or whatever it were. So hopefully for Nombe, this is kind of a start of another mini run because we're desperate for goals. We have been desperate for goals, and he's just streaky. Anyway, we knew this when we signed him. He is that kind of striker, didn't we?
Yeah, when we spoke to Jed when we first signed him, he said in League One, if he gets one, he'll then go on and get a few more in the following games. I've seen it from when he got his goal at Cambridge, like you just said, and fingers crossed it happens again because I think Nombe is one of the previous signings, shall we say, before Evans came in, that he's actually warming to. There are a few in there that he definitely hasn't warmed to, and a few of his own signings that he's not warmed to. But I think Nombe is growing on him because he's such an impactful player. He seems to get the goal when, we sort of need to break the tension, if that makes sense. It's like our first goal against Lincoln, I thought, broke the tension because it was definitely a game where first goal was going to be crucial in this. Like we said on the podcast, if the first goal isn't ours, it could turn very quickly. And thankfully, the first goal was ours. A little bit unconventional because it was with the back of his head. But I'm not complaining. They all count. And like I've just said there, it showcases if you get the ball in the right areas, 8 out of 10 times something will happen that will benefit your team, whether it's a corner or a goal. And we've seen it just there. So I hope we get more balls into the box. But also, Nombe had the impact in the second half. I was making some dangerous runs from the halfway line into their final third. He nearly got a second goal if it wasn't for a very crucial touch by their defender, which some people said might have been a penalty, but I was a bit, but we'll come on to that in a second. But he gives you that option. He's a 6-yard box striker, but you can also make that run into the box. And like I say, I think he's growing on Evans as well. So I hope he's the one that stays in January out of all of them.
Yeah. So, well, unless we get some good money for him, I think we will. Hopefully we will. But this crossing, that Tom, it's important because I know Nombe scored, but that could just have easily been Johnson Clark-Harris. And if you're going to get the best out of Johnson Clark-Harris goal-wise, you need to be putting those balls into the box because he feeds off those kind of things. Another reason why you've got to keep doing these early crosses in dangerous areas because Nombe has proved it, and we know Clark-Harris will do it as well. You've got to keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you'd back Wilkes in that situation as well. I think it's just a case of, I mean, you said it perfectly. We've been asking for ages we played with width and it worked. We played with a little bit of, energy and it worked. And just getting balls in early and it works. Nobody likes defending it. I think they, by the sounds of the post-match, I think we went into the game expecting quite a physical contest. So to end up scoring 2 headers is actually quite impressive, and it shows where our skills are at as well. On the floor, potentially not the best team in the league by any stretch, but in the air, we will compete, and we have good set piece takers. I say that tongue in cheek because a couple of them this season have been pretty poor, but we definitely have ability to put good balls into the box, and Clark-Harris has never done this sort of hold up playing in midfield that he seems to be doing at the minute in his whole career. He needs chances in the box, and 99 times out of 100 you back him in the box, and it's going to take him a while to get match fit again, but I fully back it when he does come in. He will absolutely finish those chances. But again, you've got to be there to score, and I think Nombe and Wilkes are likewise strikers who know where the net is and know where they need to be in the box as well. So having 3 of them in there is definitely not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the more positive, certainly from first half, Mick, is that after that goal, we were so comfortable, and I know they weren't great. But for that first half, and the second half is a different story. But that first half, I just felt we were never in danger in that first half. They then changed the shape, which we'll come on to it, which caused us problems. But for the first half, I just felt they were at arm's length. We weren't great, but defensively, like Tom mentioned, I just felt like they were at arm's length for that first half.
Yeah, you're probably right. They offered so little for other than 10 minutes out of the game. They offered so little that we would look comfortable, and I think. And I don't mean this to sound the way it does, but I can't think of a better way of putting it. I think most teams would have looked comfortable against them because they just offered nothing going forward. So yeah, I mean, let's say Tato was playing well. Let's say for sake of argument, but yeah, we were comfortable, but we didn't really threaten either, did we? We didn't try to. It didn't appear to look to try and capitalise on that goal and get another one and kind of put the game to bed before half time. It just kind of petered out into a bit of a meh half, didn't it? So
I'm not surprised with the kind of form and mindset of these players. I suppose it's not surprising.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. They're lacking in confidence and everything else. But we've gone ahead. Hopefully that should boost your confidence and try and make you look for another one. We didn't really feel as though we did, to me anyway. But yeah, we were never in any danger. It didn't feel like we were in that first half at all, really, at any point.
Other when Phillips went for a walkabout.
Yeah, but he made a couple of mistakes, didn't he? Which is a worry, but he
move on to that. Half-time comes though, Danny, and there is a change. That first 10 minutes, I don't know exactly when they scored, but that first 10 minutes they changed. They made a slight change in their setup, and they came at us. And they were the better team for that 10-minute period, weren't they? Miles better team, I thought, compared.
Yeah, they were. I think they scored around 50-ish minutes from that. Well, like the rebound of the free kick. But no, I mean, I did expect Lincoln to come at us for the early doors in the second half because you kind of have to when you're 1-0 down. But I had hoped we would have dealt with it better. I thought we weren't as organised. The press kind of disappeared in the second half as a whole, not just in those 10 minutes. And I don't know what Jules is doing with that blatant push to give them the free kick. It's just, again, just keep your composure. Neither of them were getting to the ball. Phillips should be coming towards the ball anyway in that sort of area. And it's just blatantly pushed him over. And he was the last man. And so he gets the yellow card. They get the free kick. And then it's just a hashing of errors. Phillips pushes the ball back into a silly area. Maybe it's Victor tinted glasses, but you'd expect the keeper to at least hold on to the ball in that situation and not push it straight back into the 6-yard box. Their man's there and he scores. So it was just like I say, it was a 10 minutes that we didn't need confidence-wise, but we sort of tripped up over our own shoelaces and we conceded. And it took a while for us to get back into that game. We held Lincoln, don't get me wrong, we held them just about, and slowly grew back into the game. But you have to be better opening the game back up after half time, because if that continues to persist, like we've seen in the past where it does, we concede early, it'll hurt us in future games. That is the one thing we need to iron out first. Keep your heads for the early doors of the second half and keep the game in your favour, because we didn't for those 10 minutes. No, we didn't.
There's lots to pick out from that goal. Let's start with the foul itself, Kev, like Danny's just mentioned. If that's the other way around, I'm unhappy that he stayed on the pitch, because I think the player probably gets to it, and it's a blatant push. The word probably I think saved Jules there, because I think that's referee's gone on the safe side. Yeah. But I can certainly see why Lincoln fans are unhappy about it not being a red card.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if that was you'd be fuming. You were screaming for a red. But I don't know. I've seen them given. I've seen them not given. It's these new laws that have come in. All rules have changed, haven't they? It's got to be a clear. I don't even understand it. But yeah, I'd have been disappointed. But it was silly, like Danny says. You just no need. But I think it was the positioning again. Running back, we're clearly that low on confidence. It was almost like they were playing with eggshells instead of studs, because they were just so scared of putting a foot wrong. And that we started that second half like that, and we invited them on. And there were 2 or 3 occasions when 1 or 2 Lincoln passes, quick passes, and we had no shape at all. The midfield weren't coming back, or they were too deep, and it were a proper mess. So yeah, thankfully they didn't get that second goal, because if they had, the crowd would have turned. It'd have all gone sour. Luckily, I'd arranged to pick our lass up from City Hall at 10 o'clock, so I had to leave in 60 minutes. So I didn't endure it. Yeah, but no.
I know you like having a go at the ref mix, so I'm going to give you the opportunity. First of a few opportunities, I'm going to give you the chance to have a go at the referee. Do you think the referee got it right, or do you think what you're saying?
From the position where we were, their player was definitely getting that ball. It was a beautiful pass. It was an absolute peach of a pass, and it was landing on his foot. It's a red for me. I'm sorry, I'm in, but it's a red, and I think he's bottled it there. It was going to land perfectly for him. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I can't remember where referee was. Maybe his position didn't allow him to see the angle of where the ball was going. I don't know. It should have done because he's a lot closer than us. For me, it was a red. I think he got a lot wrong. The referee, very inconsistent, really inconsistent, and I think he got that wrong. I would have been desperate for a red for that. I would have been furious if we'd not got it.
He took his time though. He clearly consulted with Lino because it took a minute or a few seconds to make that decision. So just blame Lino, I suppose. It's a shame to Jules. We'll come on to the goal itself in a minute. But Jules, I thought, was excellent all night. But that one mistake has then obviously cost us a goal. But just on Zach Jules, he's getting better and better and better, isn't he? I'm starting to see why Evans talked him up in the summer. He's becoming that player now for me.
Yeah, he is. And I think other than that, well, it's a bit stronger than a blemish, I suppose, on his performance, isn't it? But like you say, he's becoming that defender that we need to shore up the back. I know McCart's been decent when he's been fit, but with Raggett fit and Jules fit, that could be part of our defensive lineup going forwards. As long as they keep their heads and keep composure and don't do silly things like Jules did, there'll be a very decent pairing at the back. I thought it was defensively solid. I thought he marshalled the back very well. There was a little bit of a squeaky bit towards the end of the game where it was just sheer panic in our 6-yard box. But I suppose that was like, oh my God, we might actually win a game here, lads. Let's just get the ball anywhere. But I think it will be it were an hard pick between Jules and Taiye for man of the match, in my opinion, because Jules was very, very good in that back line. And again, please stay fit.
Him and Raggett stay fit, get playing together. Lisa Ball says Jules was one of the best. Yeah, I think Jules was probably my man of the match, to be fair. On to the goal, Tom. Matt Miller says he agrees with Danny, a decent keeper would have held the shot from the free kick. It wasn't that powerful. It was more or less straight at him. I've gone backwards and forwards about 5 times on this one because I think it is a hard shot. And then I kind of think, he's done well to get it away, but it's still within the 6-yard box kind of thing. But you've got to push it wider. And I'm not sure where I sit on this one. So in my head, I kind of let it go a little bit in Phillips for this one.
I'm not his biggest fan at all in the slightest. I think even besides that goal, I think there's so many things that he does that just doesn't fill me with confidence, and I hope nobody else with confidence. Just the headless runs out of the box to no avail because there's no way he's going to get the ball, and it doesn't fill me that he's got any confidence, and that's the one player that you want in your team with a little bit of confidence is the keeper. He's very erratic. His kicking is pretty woeful. I don't think he had a great night at all, and I can't for the life of me. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think Cam Dawson's, high and mighty and the best thing that we've ever had, but I don't understand why he got dropped in the first place because I can't see what Phillips does that is anywhere near better than what Cam Dawson can do. And that's just one example. I mean, we've gone through multiple examples all season about mistakes that Phillips makes where you think a better keeper probably does better there. So I'm just not his biggest fan in general. And yeah, I think when I first watched it, I didn't think there was anything wrong with him parrying it out. I think in hindsight, he probably could have got it wider or held on to it or various things. But ultimately, I don't think he's at fault for that goal. I think, there's numerous various issues in the goal, but his overall play, I think, is what you got to look at. And I just don't think it's good enough. Simply put, I think he looks like a second choice keeper filling in for the first choice keeper. And then when Cam Dawson comes in, he doesn't look a million miles better. So I think we're struggling in that department. But like I said, I don't know what either one has over the other. But for me, it's Cam Dawson's shirt to lose, and I don't know what he did to lose it in the first place. In all honesty,
Barnes the game won it. I think it was the first goal for Barnes the game. It's my guess.
Yeah. No, you're probably right actually. But then you could argue that every goal that happens is the keeper's fault and this, that, and it. It's just
chopping and changing help, does it? That's certainly not help chopping and changing keeper.
Not for a goalkeeper, no, not at all.
Any blame on the defender, Mick? I think it was Nombe who kind of got pulled down by the goal scorer. It's difficult in it because his ball's literally bounced in an instant and he's got to react quickly. The striker just reacted quicker. Again, for me, there's margins of blame for everybody, but I'm not particularly upset massively with anybody particular, other than maybe Jules.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it should have gone out for a corner. If he's going to do anything, just tip it around post and take a corner every time. Don't knock it back into danger zone. So, but you, as defenders, obviously, you need to be switched on for that second ball. Whether you're attacking it, the striker needs to be switched on for it, and if you're defending it, exactly the same. And I don't think Nombe was quite switched on, or didn't switch on quickly enough to close that down. But yeah, like you say, I think there's a combination of blame to go around there. We just have to see whose head rolls as a result of it, because I'm sure somebody's will.
There comes the negativity, Mick. Come on, keep it in check.
I leaked. I'm sorry.
What I suppose the good thing is, Kev, is that we didn't completely capitulate, and you could feel the stadium. There was a negativity returning, like you mentioned a minute ago when we're going backwards. The most frustration. Sorry, but the players kind of kept their heads a little bit. We still looked cautious for maybe 5 more minutes, but they kept their heads and then refound the foot in the game, and that's a sign of a team that is growing a backbone. Is the simplest way to put it, really. I think.
Yeah, I think so. We needed to as well. I think maybe it was more through luck rather than anything. What worries me is, had that been a decent team and not Lincoln, I think we would have capitulated. I think we would have collapsed. To me, it just all goes down to that confidence, like run about Phillips and all that. Yeah, Phillips should be. Sometimes his decision making is poor, and like Tom said, his kicking's awful. But I just think he's lacking. He's not confident in his front four, and his front four aren't confident in the midfield. It's almost like they're still, even though we're better and we won and it's great and blah blah blah. There's still not much shape, and that's what I want to see. It's almost like they still just played the first game together. And the worry for me is we're going to be playing some good teams coming up who could proper turn us over. So, yeah, good to see, but long way to go.
Yeah. Mick, I'm going to correct you so you can have a whinge and a moan. When it got to 1-1, like I said, when we got back, there was a few boos. I think there were just probably 1 or 2 people. I don't think it was more than that, but it was frustration and boos towards them. And Evans didn't take kindly to that. He kind of just threw his hands up at the crowd in frustration. Is it first of all, I suppose, is it fair from the fans, and is it fair that Evans is kind of frustrated by that? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does. There's for me, in my opinion, there's a few aspects to this. I think the players put in a proper shift on Tuesday night. I think there were a lot more passion, a lot more fight than we've seen for a long time from the team as a whole. But the boos came as a result, not necessarily of the players, but just tactically. And tactically, we are garbage. I'm sorry, but we are garbage.
Right.
You know, and what we're looking at here is we got the 3 points, and for clarity, I am very happy about that. I am not in any way upset or disappointed by that. Just want to make sure. If you want to clip that, anyway. I forgot where I was going there, but tactically, we were the worst. We were the better of 2 really poor teams. I don't aspire as a football fan. I don't want. That's not where I want my club to be. That's not what we should be aspiring to. You know, Lincoln were really, really poor on Tuesday night. We should have been absolutely turning them over. You know, we should have absolutely battered them, and we've got the players that are capable of doing that. But the tactics that they've been asked to play, well, they're not been. There aren't any. Let's be fair, because even after Tuesday night, there were no real pattern of play. There were no real distinguishable this is what we're doing. We've got Nombe playing left back at times, or left wing back at times, and you've got players again playing out of position. So I think I can see why Evans is frustrated by it, because whatever it is he's asking the players to do, they don't understand it. The crowd don't understand it. I don't think anybody understands it apart from him and Reina. So that's probably why he's frustrated. And that, what you showed there, wasn't his main source of frustration, was it? I mean, I've not seen anybody else who picked up on this, but when we scored that second goal, he was wandering up the touchline, cupping his ears. So, the man can't take it. He can't take the criticism, and he can't take the boos from and disappointment from the fans in the way that we're setting up and the way that we are tactically, in my view, in my opinion. So yeah, he's going to be frustrated, but when you're trying to do a job and you don't really know how to do it, you get frustrated, and that's where I in my opinion, that's where Evans is.
And I know I set you up. I'm sorry. That was quite easy.
I'm not going on Twitter for 3 days now.
Fair enough. The goal though, Tom. We go back. We'll go back in front with a Sean Raggett header, a great header to be fair, and a great ball. More importantly, a really, really good ball from Joe Powell. Probably his best cross of the season. And that's again, that's what we were promised in the summer from Steve Evans. And if he can finally find that, then we'll get loads of goals from set pieces, because it was brilliant cross.
Yeah, I know. Where's that been all season? Finally beat the first man, and then it's obviously a great ball in, but Raggett still has to do a lot. His run's great. His contact on the head is good. Powerful. Didn't really need to do much with it, I guess. Just get there. But again, that's again what he offers us. He's just a massive brick wall, isn't he? And I thought, without the goal, I thought he was excellent in that second half. But he's just more of a commanding presence than we've had all season. And him and Jules look really good together. But yeah, it's strange. I don't understand some of Joe Powell's deliveries. Some of them are genuinely excellent. Some of them are really good. Some of them are just absolutely pathetic. And I don't understand where the inconsistency lays. Is if it's the positions where he takes them, if it's sort of a movement on the ball. Because from open play, I think his crosses are really good. But as soon as you get a ball, a standstill ball, he can't do anything with it. And I think we've got to change something with that, because as we alluded to in the first off, like that's where our strengths are, in the air, bullying defenders. Sort of we've got big physical players, and I know that we all want to go away from that trope, but you got to play into the strengths that you have. And if the case is that we have those players, you got to get a set piece taker to exploit that. Apparently, Andre Green's quite good at it, but he's not going to play for another couple months. So I don't know where it leaves us. Just hopefully we can keep doing that little roll before the corner's actually taken, and then go from there. I guess I don't know why they decided to suddenly do it, but it worked for sure.
It says to me that they're working on it.
It's that thing with his feet what winds me up. that tip tap tap tap, just kick it. No mind that. Yeah. Well, yeah, like Tom just said, if he's running with the ball, if the ball's in open play, he can't do that stupid tippy tap. So it works. Yeah. So stop doing it. Stop doing it.
No. Nailed it. You sorted it. Joe Powell, if you're listening, that's the problem.
Stop doing that.
There is a suggestion, Danny, from the Lincoln side, from Lincoln fans, that there was a foul in the build-up to the goal. Well, not for the goal. If you watch it back, Jack Jules stops the defender who is marking Sean Raggett. No defenders, I don't think any defenders claimed at the time, and the referee clearly didn't see it or allowed it to go through. What was your view on that, on another decision that they feel like went against them?
I thought he just marshalled their defender well. He sort of just marshalled him out the way. I don't think he did enough for it to be a foul. He did enough just to walk the line between a foul and not being a foul, just to usher him out the way politely. I mean, you see it all the time. You sort of just usher players out the way, and then the other player sort of darts off that and then gets down on the ball and they score. And that's exactly what Raggett did. And it were a bloody powerful header as well. So for me, no, I don't think it's a foul. I think he's just well marshalled him. And, you know, at that time, if no defenders claim and referee is none the wiser, then that's why it didn't get given.
Yeah. Kelly Phillips at Arsenal do it all the time. Yeah, teams do it, Kevin, especially when there's no VAR. Just get involved. If you get away with it, if you don't get away with it, it's all right because you've not really lost anything. But if you can get away with it like you've done then, it's literally won us game, so it's something worth practicing, which they clearly are, and crack on.
Yeah, I think so. It's football's changed, hasn't it? There's now, well, this is done on the training ground. All these planned in place, set pieces. So players move about. They all know where each other's going. I used to like that one where they all lined up 6 in a line and then just spun at the last minute. Things like that. The game's changed. I don't think it was foul. I think, like Danny says, he marshaled him very well. I think it was exactly the same as their goal, if I'm honest. I think Sam Nombe, both could have been given as a foul, but neither were a foul. I think for the two things the referee did right that game were those two instances where he didn't give a foul for both goals. They were both legitimate goals. I saw a few people on. They showed the Lincoln goal on big screen, and it looked like Sam Nombe had pulled back, but it weren't. The guy's just bigger and stronger. Never a foul, just like Raggett's were a perfectly good goal for me. Yeah.
I'll come back to Steve Evans. Makes a say on the cupping of the years when we scored and went 2-1 up. Does anybody else have a say that they would like to? Is that fine? Do you care? I just want to open it up to everybody.
I don't mind. Word it carefully. No need for it. I don't think. No need for it. Just concentrate on doing your job properly, which is winning a football match. There's no need for that. But then again, it's Steve Evans, so we have to kind of expect it.
I don't particularly mind it. For me, it shows he does care a bit. I know he's got his critics and all that, but I don't mind seeing stuff like that. Yeah, he has come for some just deserved stick. So it's not like he scored it, though, is it? So that's right. But yeah, carry on. Just as I say, if he does that another 12 times this season, I'll be a happy man. So
yeah.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we said about Hugo as well. I think, wasn't it, when Hugo did it?
Oh,
yeah.
When Hugo did it against, was it Stevenage?
Oh, Jordan Hugo used to be a decent striker. That kid, yeah, I know.
All right, we're going to go back to the start of the game before we kind of finish the game. We're going to go back to the start of the game because, again, this is something picked by the Lincoln fans. The foul in the first 5 minutes on their centre half. I can't remember his name, so I'm sorry. He obviously went off with essentially concussion. Having watched the Stacey West podcast, which I really enjoyed, it was really enjoyable, but they are very, very, very unhappy with the referee. They're suggesting that Hacks purposely went to injure their centre half and obviously did injure him, and he was out of the game, and they were essentially saying that that's one of the reasons they lost the game because their main centre half was out injured. I just thought it was a bit late. I don't know what you think. I just thought Hacks. It was a foul. He was a bit late. It was just one of those not quite coming together because I think it is a foul. I didn't see anything malicious in it at all. I thought it was just late.
I'm amazed that there's a complaint about it. To be honest, genuinely, I am. I'm amazed. I can't. I thought they clashed heads. Both players made a genuine attempt at ball. Like you say, Hacks were a little bit later than their defender. As a result, he didn't get the ball, which were a foul. Just because he's got an injury, that doesn't make the foul any more serious. You know what I mean? So, you could have a perfectly normal tackle if somebody breaks the leg. It doesn't make it a foul just because they broke the leg. So, no, I don't see what's wrong with it. Arguably, it was a foul, but I think it was a genuine attempt from both players to go for the ball and actually make it quite in time. Foul.
He does that with Hacks, doesn't he? He's bad for a late chat.
He is. But they didn't announce a malice in that lad.
I agree.
There is no malice in Hakeem Odoffin in any way, shape, or form. That is just not the type of player that he is. I mean, there are other players that you would, you just got to look at the Newcastle-Liverpool game last night with Dick Van Dijk and his shoulder charge on Gordon. That was a deliberate attempt He deliberately shouldered him in face, didn't he? So it wasn't one of those. It was anyway, whatever.
No, I agree with Mick on that one. I've just watched it back quickly just now, and there's no malice in it from Hacks. I mean, their centre half is a good 6 inches taller than Hacks is.
Yeah.
And so Hacks has probably shut his eyes, gone to head the ball, and he's headed the side of their centre half's head instead. Which does give you concussion because that's like one of the softer parts of your head. Hacks has obviously hurt himself in that as well. But no, I don't think it's a foul. It's just a clash of heads challenging for an aerial ball, and that's it really.
It was one of those that when he gave the foul, I was frustrated because I didn't really think it was a foul. Oh, actually, back, I think the refs got it right. I think it was one of the few decisions he got right all game.
It's hilarious. They think that was a ploy to take out one of their centre halves, which then caused the absolute capitulation. Because there's so many easier ways to get someone injured than trying to headbutt them in the first 5 minutes. It's just it's ridiculous.
They've got it in for Steve Evans on this. It's a Lincoln Boston thing, though, isn't it? They absolutely hate Steve Evans. If you want to listen to some Steve Evans hate, if you really want to listen to Steve Evans hate, I do recommend it. It is really enjoyable.
What's that called again?
At one point, when Lincoln fans were singing about Steve Evans' size and whatnot, I half expected our fans to join in.
Scott didn't get a booking. Sure, it wasn't that bad. I think that's fair. And then the kind of rest of the game, Danny. Last 10 minutes were quite hairy. I think panic set in for most of the game. For the first 80 minutes or so, we were okay defending set pieces and crosses. There was an odd moment, but I thought we were okay. But that last 10 minutes, we just kind of crapped the bed a little bit, and they had an opportunity or two in that last 10 minutes to equalise, and they might be a bit frustrated that they weren't able to get one of those chances in, to be fair.
Yeah, I think we definitely rode a luck in the last 10 minutes or so, but I think it comes down to the confidence and composure. Like I said, for the opening 10 of the second half, we lacked composure, and that's what led to the Jules silly moment and then their goal, etc. But in the last 10 minutes, it was like, right, we're winning, we need to see this out, and we sort of had the backs against the wall. We need to get rid of this ball by any means necessary, keep it away from our 6-yard box or even the 18-yard box. And that's why it looked all a bit hairy. It sort of harkened back to the old championship days where it was like, just get rid of it, see it out, just see it out, which isn't the best thing for us to be doing in League One, given past seasons in League One where we were able to see out games properly. But it worked, and that's why I'm not too upset about it. I just hope it's something we don't carry on with, because I don't want to be that team that sort of just nicks a win by any means necessary. I want the team to be better than other teams. Like we're better against Lincoln, but not to the point where we should be. So, yeah, hair-raising, squeaky bum time, but it worked. Thank God it did. That's my opinion on it anyway.
I know what you're saying, Danny, but if we get another 20 of them this season, I'll be fine. I'll be absolutely fine because you're winning games. We all want to play well, but if we're playing rubbish, winning loads of games, just crack on. Absolutely fine with that.
No, I get you, but I just don't want it to be our trope, because some teams will breach it and then we'll come away disheartened by it. But like I say, if we get 20 more of them and we see out every game where we are backs against the wall, then yeah, happy days. But I don't want us to rely on it. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. Do you think it's possibly a confidence thing, Kev? Because we're on this poor form. Again, if we concede the players and how the fans are going to react, how Steve's going to react, it's not been that long, but it feels like ages since we won a game. So I think it's probably a more confidence thing than a technical ability in that last 10 minutes.
1,000% confidence thing. We're on paper, we are a very good team, good team. And if we'd have had a really good start and we're flying, I think we'd have carried that on. But because the pressure's on and because we were expected to do well, and Steve Evans was expected to do well, I think it's really affected them. And it is like I said, it's almost like they're playing with fear. They're worried about making a mistake because they know, because due to how bad they have been playing, how quick the fans can turn, and rightly so as well. That they've been So it's definitely down to confidence. Hopefully this win, and I generally can see us beating Blackpool. I think the away day hoodoo's gone now. We've broken that. Blackpool, I know they're going to win the other day, but I think they're a poor team. We'll be above them come the end of the season. So we've got a very good chance to go and beat Blackpool. We could find ourselves in 12th position, 13th position, 5 or 6 off the playoffs, or 7 or whatever it is. And build a run. That's all we need. All we need is a little run, and the confidence will go sky high. And you might see the old Hakeem Adofin, who I think had a decent game the other day, but it looks a shadow of himself from where before. You might see the old Cohen Bramall who looks shadow of himself, and Cameron Humphreys. These are all quality Championship players who have played up until a year ago at Championship level, like really well, and the confidence is shot to pieces for obvious reasons. But get that back, and we've got a good enough team to definitely get back up into them playoffs and above.
Matt Miller in the comments says, Tom, he agreed with what Mick was saying earlier, that he can't understand the fresh optimism because the performance was still bang average, particularly tactically, even if the result wasn't. I think my kind of thing. I am much more positive after Tuesday. It wasn't perfect. There's loads of problems, but there were more. How many positives we talked about tonight in terms of individual performances and setup? There's loads more positives to pick from Tuesday than there has been than most of the other wins this season.
Yeah, I feel a lot better after this win than the Stevenage win. And again, it's like you say, it's about personnel, but it's also about. I think it's really easy to sit here and say the performance was bad, tactics were off, blah blah blah. But when you think about, was it like going forward? Yeah, sure, it wasn't pretty. We still scored 2 goals. Sure, it wasn't pretty going forward, but defensively, I thought we were solid. I thought Lincoln did nothing really. And I think if you defend like that against a lot of teams in this league, especially over half of them in this league, you'll probably end up not conceding a goal and keeping a clean sheet. And therefore, you're just looking at, can we improve going forward? And I think there were little aspects where you thought, okay, this looks okay. The link-up plays all right. But some of the players still can't pass it 3 yards. Some of them still don't know really what the plan is. But I think it comes with time. I think we've just got to give it. Obviously, you don't want to give it till April because therefore, it's kind of done and dusted by then. But like Kev said, if you get a run and confidence gets coming back, these players are good enough to do things that most other teams can't do. That front three that started against Lincoln is arguably 3 million in there. Cost wise, each of them have probably gone for that total in their, each gone for $1 million in their careers. They're obviously good players. Just give them confidence and time to link and gel and just try and get the best out of them. And the sort of attacking football will come. You look at every individual that started, they're all good players on the ball, off the ball. As soon as we get the basics right, and I think we're starting to off the ball, as soon as you start getting the basics right on the ball, I think that sort of tactical, get in their face, sort of style of play will come. And that's why I feel a bit more positive this time, is because although it wasn't good on the ball, off the ball, I thought we were a lot better than we have been the whole of the season, really. Which is a positive in itself.
Yeah, this break they've had, because Seavers were clear out the most important break of the season, so we won. Moving forward a little bit, Mick, this next run of fixtures pre-Mansfield, we've got Blackpool on Saturday, which we'll come into in a second, and then Northampton at home next Saturday. These are 2 teams that aren't very good. Northampton literally in the relegation zone, and Blackpool have their moments, but they're also an average team at the minute. That may change, but at the minute they're not in. No, they're 2 points above us. That tells you how good they are. This is a genuine, real opportunity to put some serious points on the board. And yes, we've got to improve. If we play like that on Tuesday, we might come unstuck away, especially away from home. But we've got a springboard. That episode is Springboard. This is the opportunity for it, Springboard. Now, if we lose these next 2, then things will be having different conversations. Yeah. But for me, this is a real opportunity to spring up the table.
Yeah, it is. But we'll have to wait and see how we set up, how we play, because And Scott Kent's mentioned it in the comments there. Northampton new manager bounce potentially. So that they're sacking their manager today or they've parted ways. So you would think, and if they've got a half decent board, they're going to have somebody in place by then. You would think. So Blackpool, like you say, they are above us, but are inconsistent. To be fair to us, we're not inconsistent. No, we have. We're not, are we? And I mean, we're not. We're consistently playing the same way, and most of the time it's been ineffective. It was effective on Tuesday night for whatever reasons, and one of those reasons was the work rate of the players was significantly better and higher than it had been previous to that. So, it's a really good opportunity given the positions in the league that these teams are in. But don't forget we're in the same position.
Oh yeah,
So in reality, in this season's in the context of this season, there's nothing to choose between us. So it's a good chance. It is a good opportunity.
But what I would say is we're 2 points behind them, and we haven't played well all this season. So if we do play well, if we somehow do play well, we'll win. It should be as simple. It's not as simple as it should be.
But I agree with you, and we should win, given the quality of players that we've got in there. But we haven't played well all season, save for a few 20-minute periods here and there. So I wouldn't personally hang my hat on the fact that it's going to turn it around. We're still going to have that, like the first 30 odd seconds of the game on Tuesday night when it was just who. There were 5 balls that were just played as high into air as you could possibly get within 30 seconds of the game. If we're going to continue in that fashion, we're just going to end up where we are now. We are where we are, and I think we'll stay here. So there has to be an improvement in the performances, but let's hopefully draw some confidence from Tuesday night's result and the work rate that the players put in. That confidence can then bring the performances on. We'll see.
You were meant to be positive tonight, Mick.
I am. It is positive. My issue with this, is what I've said right all along. It's not the players. It's all about what they're being asked to do, and I don't think they know because nobody else knows.
We'll see on Saturday. Hopefully you're wrong.
Well, I hope we keep on the floor because I've seen weather forecasts and Blackpool's not very nice in summer. This is going to be a cold, windy, blustery, rainy day. So.
Yeah. Whenever we go to Blackpool, it's a terrible game. It normally is an awful game whenever we go to Blackpool. Yeah. John Mill says went for some food and come back and Mickey's still being negative. Harry says a positive is from the game is that Evans might have stopped the fist bumps. It may have been knocked out of him. I know some people like it, but I'm a big fan of it stopping. But what it is, what it is. We only mentioned the delays. Anything want to mention? Anybody on the half an hour delay when the lights were working almost when it was meant to kick off? That was really frustrating. But I suppose
I just thought it was quite ironic that our chairman owns a lighting company and the lights failed at the stadium.
Yeah.
I think I did tweet out because I thought it might be a similar thing Danny just said, a bit ironic, but I do believe the matter was not anything to do with Tony Stewart. They were surrounding areas. I do believe, but yeah, it cost me. Like I said, I'd arranged to pick a last at 10 o'clock, so I had to leave. I missed last 20 minutes actually. So it did me bad.
Yeah, it were a late finish, but and then they had loads of injury time as well, wasn't it, compared to a normal game as well. Anything else? We've not really. We've got to talk about Blackpool game, but does anybody want to just heap some praise on Chris T first because he was brilliant. I thought he was excellent on Tuesday night.
Yeah, 100%. I thought he marshalled the midfield very, very well, and he seems to be bringing a little bit of structure into our midfield, which is nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, he continues that. The problem with T is he's been in that team because of Kelly. So if Kelly's fit, is ever going to pump Kelly back in when T was good? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see from that. A couple of stats from Tuesday night. It was Nombe's 50th goal in his career in all competitions. Sean Raggett's first goal for us since 2018. He used to get a smaller gap between the next one. We're now won back-to-back home games and 3 wins out of the last 4 home games. So there is something positive going from there. Anything else you want to mention from the game from Tuesday before we have a quick look at Bradford to Blackpool?
I'll say that goal now makes Sam Nombe our top goal scorer in all competitions this season.
No, Bugle's got 5.
Against Newcastle's kids, that don't count.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nombe's is 4 in the league and 1 against whoever it was in the EFL Cup.
Yeah. Bishop wants to mention the crowd. There was nobody there. Absolutely nobody there.
We're 9,000, I know that.
Absolutely not. No. But I think it was an important win because to get the crowd, Evans has got to get this crowd back on side. Forget us, forget the podcast. The podcast is not the important part. We're going to stick for that. That's not the important part. The crowd on Tuesday told you what a lot of the fans feel. That hopefully that win is important to getting some of those back through the turnstiles and supporting them because the atmosphere was absolutely dead. I don't think the delay helped, but that was one of the quietest I've ever heard New York Stadium for a league game. I can't remember a quieter game. Understandably as well, I'm not having a particular dig at the crowd, but that trust, almost a trust has got to be built back up, which is going to take time. You can't force it. You can't just say, right, come on, fans, be better. It's going to take a little bit of time. So hopefully it starts. We continue on Saturday against Blackpool. Right, ref watch against Blackpool. Let's get this out of the way. Referee is Sebastian Stocksbridge. He refereed us this season against Huddersfield. Sent off Danny Ward. Gave us a dodgy penalty as well. So maybe if you don't remember that game, he also ref the EFL Trophy final against Sutton when he was dreadful. But anyway, our record against Blackpool is brilliant. We haven't lost in 11 games. Last time we lost was in 1997. Lots of draws in there. It's a really, really good record. So hopefully we can kick that on. We had a fully fit squad, Tom, on Tuesday. The only player was Kelly. What we were missing was Kelly. Bearing in mind it was an much-improved performance, it should be almost unchanged, really, shouldn't it, really? But having said that, he didn't make many subs, so a lot of those players basically played the full 90 minutes, so I wonder if that will play into it as well.
I think players that are probably are likely to see again are those that, the defenders and the keeper who probably didn't, you kind of need a bit of consistency, but I was surprised at the lack of subs. I get it, but it still surprised me because I just think, I think with having a game on Tuesday and then on Saturday, you've got to maintain fitness somehow. And with a lot of them not having played for a long time, it was quite intense to play them for a full what felt like 125 minutes. In the end. So I think it's easy to say, look, we need consistency. Play the same team. They played well. They played with a bit of passion, etc. Personally, I'd say the same. I'd say do that, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if he changed it around due to certain, fitness issues and certain, maybe looking out for wear and tear and stuff. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But then again, I don't. There's no natural replacement that you'd bring in other than maybe Hungbo on the wing and McWilliams in midfield and Kelly for Teehee. Other than that, you're sort of looking at it, the players that you bring in are probably going to weaken that team. So you got to be careful with how many players and how many changes you make. So I'd argue that he's probably going to keep it the same and then see how it is at halftime and then make the changes necessary then. And honestly, that's what I'd go for. Well,
yeah, no, it's absolutely. Kevin, are you going to shoot off just before you go, mate? Can I just have your score prediction?
I'm going to go pretty different this week. I'm going to go for 3-0 to Rotherham.
So he got your point on Tuesday. Fair, we won, so he got your point. So
we won, and there were 3 goals in it. That should get more than 1 point. All right. Cheers for having me on, guys.
Kev, for more announcements.
Yes. See you Sunday.
Top man. Cheers, Kev.
See you, Kev.
Bye-bye.
On to Tuesday. I keep getting Tuesday and Saturday mixed up. On to Saturday, mate. We talked about this game on Tuesday being a really big game because of everything else that's gone around it and the previous points and everything else. For me, this is as important because you've got to start backing these wins up. We did have back-to-back wins against Cambridge and Reading, but then we kind of fell flat on our face. I think it was Wrexham the week after. We've got to back this up even if we don't win, a good performance and a draw is still backing it up for me. But if we go and play really badly and lose comfortably, then we're back to square one, aren't we? You've got to back this up.
Yeah, it's really important now. Yeah, you're right. It was an important game on Tuesday night. It's gone now. We've got the 3 points in bag. We now move on to the next game, which is equally important because we've got to be able to have that. The season has to turn. If we're not going to be scrapping down the bottom end of the league at the end of the season, it has to turn at some point. The positive to take out of Tuesday night was the work rate and effort from the players, which suggests that they are wanting to get out of this mess that we're in. So yeah, we need to back it up. And I'll be honest with you. I know this is negative. I don't particularly see that we're going to get a decent performance on Saturday. I just don't. I don't see how that's going to happen. And I base that on everything I've said so far, in terms of tactics and performances so far this season. So realistically, we need a win. We need a win because, if we don't get that, then it's going to have been another poor performance and no results at the end of it. I know it is negative. I know it is, and I understand that. It's just how I feel, and I'm not saying it's a fact either. For the purposes of anybody who wants to listen, it's my opinion. But we have to improve the performances. We have to. And that's a tactical issue more than anything else. So we're not going to see that. I think we all recognise that, and we should all realise that. So we're just going to have to hope that we can get another dirty win, and it breeds a little bit more confidence.
Fair enough. John Morrison, Blackpool, utter garbage. I mean, bad. Great chance for a win. They are on back-to-back wins. I don't know. Having said that, did you see the goal they conceded last night to Shrewsbury? Yeah, beautiful. Gareth Ainsworth was a goal, that'd be it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. Danny, I suppose Nick's mentioned there kind of what we want to see, what he thinks we'll see. Do you think this will be a Springboard? We all want it to be. Do you think this will be a Springboard Tuesday night?
I think it'll be a Springboard in confidence levels. And, well, the Lincoln game showed that work rate with the players isn't the issue. It sort of showed that the issue runs into the tactic side of it, but we've been saying that more or less for the whole season. I think Saturday hopefully is a Springboard where we have a better understanding of how to work round a team. Like we sort of found out the way to work round Lincoln was balls into the 6-yard box, and it proved fruitful on 2 occasions. So hopefully we can sort of utilise that and find a way to play around Blackpool. Do I think we'll improve over the next few days drastically? No. But I hope it's a Springboard in the long run where it'll slowly improve. Like say if we get a good draw away at Blackpool, it's not the end of the world. If it's a 0-0 draw or a 1-1 draw where we've sort of cancelled each other out, I'll take that. If we get another cheeky win, even better. But I think with Blackpool, to build on the Lincoln game, it's a must not lose, in my opinion. Because if we lose, like you said earlier, we're back to square one. If we show there's some sort of progression, I think that'll slowly bring the fans back in and we'll slowly back the team more week to week. And then the confidence grows, domino effect, etc., etc. So the Springboard for me is a must not lose at Blackpool. If that happens, I think there's progression. If we lose against Blackpool, then, we might as well have not beaten Lincoln in the first place.
Fair enough. I think we'll improve, and I think we'll see a much better performance. So me, Mick and Ben had an argument on Tuesday night on the way back. me being the positive one, because I saw enough there. Like Tom's already mentioned, I saw enough there to suggest there is a way forward.
Yeah,
I assume you agree, Tom. It wasn't brilliant, but I understood what we were trying to do. We were packing. We were sitting deep in the second half, stopping them building. That we scored from set pieces, which were organised set pieces, not just kind of random goals like the Hugo goal or the Wilkes goals that we always get. The game made sense to me. If it makes sense to me, there must be a plan.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think we were agreeing with this previously, but I think in this league, it is so bad. I mean, I can't think of one team that's really come and been outstanding in this whole league. And I think when you defend how we did and do the basics how we did off the ball, although again it wasn't perfect, it was a lot better than we've seen all season. And I think we really did limit Lincoln, and the only chance they got, they scored from, which was the free kick that was just a lapse in judgment and then some poor goalkeeping. So if you iron out those mistakes, as Danny said earlier, then you're looking at a pretty solid defensive performance that eventually you can build on going forward. So we've still got the players to make inroads going forward. The Peterborough game, that first half, that shows the quality of those front three when they're firing and on form, and the midfield can pitch in with goals. We've seen Hacks do it for a couple of seasons now, where he can pitch in. I just think anyone that you play against in this league, you're going to get a chance against if you defend well, because nobody's good. Because we keep saying week in, week out that they weren't any good. We should have, this, that, and the other. We've just got to admit that this league isn't what we thought it was when coming into it, and that it's not actually, that good. And our players on paper and probably on performance should be, competing up there with the best of them, because that is where the quality lies. So I'm like you, Matt. This is the most optimistic I've been for a while, and maybe it's delusion, but I'm banking on it being optimism currently.
I said to Mick, positivity is a choice. I am choosing to be positive about what happens.
Exactly.
There's a t-shirt in that, and there's definitely a t-shirt in that. Richard says, "Will extra day better?" Yeah, they play Wednesday night away at Shrewsbury. How close is Shrewsbury to Blackpool, Mix?
Shrewsbury's not close to anywhere, is it? Shrewsbury's it's like Ipswich. It's not close to anywhere.
Okay. Okay. So they've had that to do. They've had that to contend. So they say when they got back early hours, went Thursday morning, probably not trained today. It would have been a light session, and then so they'll have 1 day's training. We had a home game on Tuesday, so almost 3 full days training with two and a cool down day probably. So there is a benefit there. They got Steve Bruce as a manager, which I don't know why, but it just makes me laugh. I don't know. It just does. But with the scout reports up tomorrow, I spoke to Tom from It's Not Orange podcast. It's Steve Bruce, so it's 4-4-2. He's put wingers in the wide areas where you'd expect him to be. They've won back-to-back games, so hopefully Steve Evans can out-tactic Steve Bruce, Steve Derby, side. Right, prediction league time. There was movement in the points total. Joy correctly predicted 2-1.
Wow!
Nice. So the race for the top spot is now heating up. Joy's within 3 points. Mick, who's on 13 points. Tom's on 11. Joy's on 10. Danny is on 7. Kev has pulled himself back level with Ben at the bottom of the table because he went obviously 3-0. It picked up a point. We have an award coming for this. I've ordered an award, which I'm not going to tell you what it is. But there is an award for the winner of this league. So you've got something to play for now. So we've already know Kev's gone 3-0 to us. Joy has gone 2-1 again to Rotherham United. Joy's thinking back-to-back 2-1 wins. Ben has gone 2-1 to Blackpool because that's what Ben is like. Danny, you're next in the league, sort of lower down. What's your prediction to 3 points, Danny? You're back within a few points of the top spot, so come on.
Yeah, I'm definitely the Rotherham United of this league, and so 3 points I'm challenging for the next bit up. But if I lose, then I'm going towards relegation zone. I don't know. I have a sneaky suspicion that we'll nick it, so I'm going to go 1-0 to us.
Nice. Ben forgot to predict for the Crawley game. Are we going to be a kind of a podcast that deducts points for not submitting predictions, or we're not that kind of people?
No, I think it's an automatic 0-0 if he fails to predict.
Yeah.
Oh, I just didn't get him anything.
No, that's fair. Just don't give him anything.
Tom, second place is under threat, but you are still chance to get overtaking Mick. What's your prediction?
I really want to go for a 2-0 win to Rotherham, because I genuinely think that would happen if we were at home. But away, I don't know. I really don't. I think it's going to be a really tough game. Screw it. Yeah, I'll go 2-0 Rotherham still. I don't. I think if it was at home, I'd be really confident on that. But the fact it's away is making me a bit more skeptical of the decision. But we'll see now.
You, Mick, are still top of the league, but you stalled recently. You had a really good start.
Did a full good old Steve Evans job. I have not won in 5. Every Tuesday.
So come on, what, are we backing it up or not?
No, and we won 1.
A good 1-1 or a really horrible 1-1?
It'll be a horrible 1-1, and it'll be a horrible 1-1 simply because the weather and the position in the league. It's going to be I think it's going to be a dour sort of lower League One, bottom end of League One, crappy 1-1 draw.
Fair enough. I wasn't surprised. I've been to Blackpool twice for Rotherham games, and both times finished 0-0. And 2 of the worst games I've ever seen at Blackpool. Also, I don't anticipate anything. Chris Taylor says 0-2. Harry says 2-1 to Blackpool. He says, when was the last time we backed anything up? Yeah. John Morrell says 1-1. YouTuber says 2-1 to us. 1-0 to us, a Clark Harris fluke. Matt Miller says prediction, one way or another, Storm Dara to win, 60 mile an hour at 3 p.m. in Blackpool.
You know, when I first read Mike's comment, my first thought was, what's Peterborough's chairman going, Peterborough's manager going to that?
Yeah.
Why is that way?
Yeah, there is an amber warning for wind in Blackpool on Saturday. So do travel safe. That's just the most important part. We haven't had time to tackle Johnson Clark Harris, but I want to have a quick chat on Johnson Clark Harris, but we really have gone really long tonight. Anything else you want to mention?
All good from me.
Fantastic.
Keep an eye out for Stephen Bingo tomorrow with his press conference.
Stephen Bingo, yeah. Make it right. Tune in Sunday because we have an announcement. Kev's going to announce something which we hinted at earlier. And then next Thursday, Lee's on. Lee McMahon's on next Thursday.
Yes. Hey.
We're lovely. And he has a gig next Saturday at the Cutlers, which has Mick bought the tickets for you?
Yes, no.
Yeah. He's done it. He's finally done it.
Yeah. I'm going to do it now.
No, you're not.
Even I confidently said yes to that because I thought there's no way that he hasn't. Confidently.
Listen, I'm a busy man. I have to work on production on this podcast and everything.
It's 3 buttons. It's click on his gig, click on to ticket, and then click buy. That's it.
What I would say, and I'm not going to give anything away about Sunday's announcement, but there is, if you haven't bought a Christmas present for your loved one who's a Miller, listening on Sunday, because there's an announcement about what I would consider an excellent Christmas present if you're a Rotherham United fan.
Ooh, exciting.
I've got my predictions, but I'm not going to try and spoil it.
You want a good idea. So tune in. Well, obviously, they've had football as well to talk about. You know, we talk about the Blackpool game. We've got a cup game on Tuesday, and then we've got the Northampton game for the following day as well. Following week. I hope everybody has enjoyed it. Everybody who's tuned in, I hope they have enjoyed it. It wasn't all positive because you can't expect it all to be positive because we're realistic people. But I hope it wasn't negative enough. If you're complaining about Mick, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? He is what he is. He's nearly 60. He's not going to change. You can complain all you want. He isn't going to change. So, just get over it. Mick, Harry wants it. Is it a personalised message from Mick?
It's much, much better than that. But if you want one, Harry.
To Joe Powell calendar, finally.
I charge pints of Millers in Cutlers is what I charge.
Mick's festive greeting isn't saying Merry Christmas, it's calling you an idiot.
Yeah.
John Morrell says Mick's so positive was the car parks these days. And again, I listened to the Stacey West podcast and they talked about the positive car parks around New York Stadium as well. So it's not just our podcast that does car park chat. All right.
Where did they find them? Where did they find the car parks?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Which car park were they on about anyway?
I have no idea. I didn't.
We'll talk after Danny, I'll tell you.
All car park questions will be answered on Mick's special podcast about car parks. So do tune in when he's got it sorted out. Please make sure
Don't do that festive special like that, Matt.
Oh, festive special. We have a festive episode coming up. We are planning to do it on the 22nd, which will be a Christmas quiz. If you want to come involved, we'll do a Christmas quiz. We're going to do that as we always do. We're going to mix it up this year, but we're going to get presents for each other. It's going to be really stupid, hopefully. So that's something to look forward to, and there's pressure on. Now I've told everybody about it. These three can't back out of it.
I know, that's actually evil.
Yes.
What date? When is that, Matt?
Yeah, I'm ill.
It depends. Which Sunday are you busy on this month?
I'm ill on that day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ill that day.
I'm washing my hair that day.
Anyway, we're just rambling. This is what we should do more of, because then people can't complain about this. They will. They'll still find a way. Please make sure you have subscribed. If you've enjoyed it, please make sure you have subscribed on YouTube. And if you have liked to give it a like as well. If you're watching on X, which I can see a few hundred of you are watching on X, make sure you have followed us and give it a share as well. We're also on Facebook and Threads. And that's it for now. If you're listening on iTunes and Spotify, make sure you have please, if you've enjoyed it, give us a 5-star rating and follow and subscribe. And if we were anywhere near the top of your Spotify Wrapped, let us know as well. We've had a few of those sent kind of privately to us by our number one fan in Sweden has sent us one, and a few others as well. So thank you everybody who's listened and put up with us over the last year. We ain't gonna stop. So either get used to it or don't watch. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Danny. I have enjoyed this episode. I hope you have too. We will see you all next time, which will be Sunday. Don't forget the Scouting Report on Friday. Thank you for watching. We will see you all next time. And as always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
I think I always made the comment that once a Miller, always a Miller.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! Good heavens, he's done it again! Another promotion for the big man.
I've got 12 bottles of champagne in my office, and we're going to drink them all night.
Do me a favor, drop me off in